There, scroll all the way down to the bottom, click on the word watch, then search for Dentally Speaking. Or you can also just go, it's a little easier, you can just go to dentallyspeaking.com, click on the word live where it has the time of the show in the top right panel. It doesn't look like a clickable link, but it is. Also, the office Facebook page is Facebook.com/Dr. Kvitko and Associates, so we would love it if you would go there and like us. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Dr. Kvitko. All right? Okay, so like we said, today's baby's teeth, children's teeth, that sort of thing. So, there's nothing as beautiful as a child's smile. I think we all, those of us that have kids, know when your child is smiling at you, it just kind of melts your heart. With good oral care at home and regular dental visits, children can reach adulthood without suffering from tooth decay and other oral health problems, and that's what we're all about today. How about let's talk about diet and your child's teeth. Plaque, which is a sticky film of bacteria that forms on teeth, needs to be removed. When it's not removed from the teeth every day, it builds up. Plaque bacteria use sugar to make acid that attacks enamel. So just so you know, tooth decay is really acid erosion from this bacteria that's in your mouth. Okay? The hard surface of the tooth is the enamel, of course, and under the enamel you have dentin. Enamel is more resistant to decay, but once you get through the enamel, the dentin is not very resistant to decay, so it kind of spreads quickly. In fact, acid can attack your teeth, the teeth enamel, for up to 20 minutes after sugary foods and drinks are consumed. These drinks include juices, sodas, and sports and energy drinks. Now, notice I said juices because a lot of people think if you give your child juice, that's healthy. Orange juice, grape juice and all that. The reality is while it might be good for you, it is still full of acid and not so much for the teeth. Repeated acid attacks can cause tooth decay, which must be treated by a dentist, such as me. Frequent snacks and sips of sugary drinks between meals expose the teeth to repeated acid attacks. For good dental health and for overall health, be sure your child eats a healthy diet. If your child needs a between-the-meal snack, choose healthy foods. And to help prevent tooth decay, save the sweets for mealtime. So, I've said this over and over. I basically tell kids they can have whatever they want as long as they brush their teeth afterwards. The reality is it's best if it's just with mealtime, and then maybe afterwards you have them go brush or you brush for them, and that way you can minimize the effects of this acid attack. All right, let's talk about keeping the smile clean. Brushing teeth twice a day and flossing once a day are important to keep teeth and gums healthy. Okay, brushing teeth twice a day and flossing once a day are important to keep teeth healthy as well as the gums. You need to choose a child-sized toothbrush with soft bristles. Okay, don't use the real hard bristles. Those can hurt. They can damage teeth. Use a soft bristle brush. You need to replace it every 3 months or sooner if the bristles are frayed, because worn toothbrushes, they just won't clean the teeth properly. For children under 3 years old, use no more than a smear of grain of rice-sized amount of fluoride toothpaste. Okay, for under 3, it's the size of a grain of rice. That's the amount of toothpaste that you put on the toothbrush. Now, you want to make sure that none of the infants and toddlers and children swallow the toothpaste. Okay, it's not healthy for them. Be sure they know that the toothpaste is not food. I mean, let's face it, it usually tastes good. They have bubblegum flavor, mint, all that stuff. But make sure they don't swallow it. For children that are 3 to 6 years old, use no more than a pea-sized amount of fluoride toothpaste. Okay? So, 3 to 6, it's a pea-sized amount of toothpaste. And if they're under 3, it's the size of a grain of rice. Not very much, just a little smear. And make sure you tell your child to spit out the toothpaste and do not swallow. You should supervise your children while they brush their teeth, because if they can't tie their shoes, they shouldn't brush their teeth alone. And that's what we tell a lot of parents is once your child can tie their shoes 10 times in a row, that's when you can trust them to do a good job of brushing their own teeth. Flossing is very important, and in fact, you really need to kind of ingrain this into the child that it's something that you do. Even if they're not able to do it really well at first, it's something that you want to help them with and help them try to do, because that's where the toothbrush can't reach. So starting when your child has teeth that touch, floss those teeth until your child is old enough to do it for themselves. Then show them how to use floss or another in-between-the-teeth cleaner. We dentists, hygienists will teach your child proper brushing and flossing when you bring them to us. Okay? Now, It was last week's show. We talked about how it was the 70th anniversary of fluoridated water that began in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And this week, of course, we're talking about Children's Dental Health Month, but we want to make sure that your child has fluoride in their water, in their drinking water, or they have access to it, because fluoride helps make teeth stronger and protects them from decay. Now, keep in mind that fluoride is a mineral that occurs naturally in all water sources. Children who drink tap water that has the recommended levels of fluoride are less likely to get cavities than children who drink non-fluoridated water. Fluoride is also found in anti-cavity toothpaste, mouth rinses, and treatments applied in our offices. So, talk to your dentist about your child's fluoride needs. Be sure to tell them if you use bottled water or a water treatment system at home. The reason is because bottled water doesn't have fluoride in it, and neither does the water that you use at home, because it's been, it's been taken out. Now, if you live in an area where the tap water doesn't contain the fluoride, then we dentists, and sometimes your physician, can prescribe fluoride supplements for you or for your child. And it comes in the form of either these little drops. You put so many drops in an eyedropper, and either the child you just drip it in their mouth, or you can actually mix up some of the water that they would be drinking for yourself and put it in a special container. Okay? Now, we're going to get to some other ways that we can protect teeth besides the fluoride later on in the show. But I do want to talk a little bit about. There's an article in the ODA News, and it was written by. Let me just find it. Yeah, written by this dentist, female dentist. She calls herself the Happy Dentist, Nadja Usman, and she wrote about how she has a childhood friend that writes on Facebook a lot, and so she found this article that she had written. And basically, she says her posts are kind of snapshots of politics, popular culture, and the occasional self-serving rant. Almost everything she shares evokes a strong feeling. So she was curious when on her feed she shared a picture of an unhealthy smile, and then it said, and it had the link, "The Shame of Poor Teeth in a Rich World." Intrigued, she opened the article to find the headline, "Poor Teeth," in bold red, and the italicized, "If you have a mouthful of teeth shaped by a childhood of poverty, don't go knocking on the door of American privilege." So she thought that was interesting, and it's like, why would this friend of hers, who lives in Canada and writes and speaks on women's rights, even read an article like this, let alone share it? So she said, "I'm certain I am not the only proud dentist who defends the honor of dentists and the art of dentistry, who reads popular culture articles about dentistry. Magazines and the internet are plagued with titles about home remedies, the latest gizmos, and my favorite, of late, root canals are linked with cancer," which of course we know isn't true. And most of us pursue our continuing education through legitimate channels, such as peer-reviewed journals and meetings with reputable speakers. One should also make themselves familiar with the non-legitimate information that is out there about the profession, be it clinical, economic, or whatever. We need to know what are the pervasive opinions floating around. Only then can we meet the evolving changes in our profession with confidence and come out ahead. Again, this is Nadja Usman, DDS. All right, so back to the article. It's one of the editorials on a layperson's editorial about dentistry. Immediately I could tell from the vocabulary that the author was bright. The writing did not lack the credibility that most internet garbage does. The gist of the article, about how important it was to have a beautiful, straight, white smile to get opportunities in America. The author related how she came from a poor home in Appalachian country where both her parents had full dentures in their 20s, and her dental history started very bleak, with serial extractions of baby teeth that had decayed to the point of toothaches. Miraculously, she had a dental rebirth as a white swan when her deciduous teeth gave rise to a white, straight, pearly gate to her successful future. In comparison to others from her background who lacked access to dental care, her luck allowed her the opportunities for a very different life. She compared dental insurance to medical insurance, quoting facts and figures to support that out-of-pocket costs for dentistry are 80% versus 20% in medicine. Interestingly, she didn't bother to say what the overall spending is in medicine versus dentistry. This is when I started to get irate, and again, this is Dr. Nadja Usman. She had the audacity to say that dentistry was inaccessible. She took a leap to state that it was ironic that the institution of dentistry was priced out of a population that can't pay for services because they have bad teeth. Their bad teeth didn't allow them to have the jobs that brought the amazing dental insurance. Then on her own, she stumbled and contradicted herself. She spoke of how she looked after her own teeth, how she shunned sugary drinks of her relatives, and that she followed a rigorous dental regimen that she had heard in multiple public service announcements about brushing and flossing, and followed it to a T. Interesting, she was not talking about the inaccessibility of dental services anymore. She was talking about a value proposition and preventative care. So maybe it's just a random observation, but have you noticed that children of dental team members rarely even have one cavity? Why is that? It's because they believe in the merits of dental preventative services. They take their children to the dentist twice a year, period. They teach their children those values, and they pay expensive out-of-pocket co-pays for orthodontic services and third molar extractions because they value the importance of dental health. The problem is not access to care by making dental insurance readily available or making dental fees lower. We need to create value through massive educational initiatives. And ironically, I think this author stumbled upon something here. We were able to show how dental health is a predictor for life, success of our children. I bet more people would buy into it. Okay, so I think that's pretty cool. We hear all the time about how access to care is a problem. It's not accessible. And yet, if you just follow the information that we dentists and the ADA and the ODA put out there, you're probably not going to need as much care. So access isn't the big issue. Now, remember, we're going to do Dr. Kvitko's question of the day, and so it's been a little bit since I mentioned. But remember that children under 3 should only use a grain of rice-sized amount of fluoride, and children ages 3 to 6 should only use a pea-sized amount, okay? So, before we do the contest, and by the way, the person who wins receives free flowers from Vice Timber Florist, so that's pretty cool. So, before we do the contest, though, we want you to listen to this.
This station will not be held liable for any contesting during Dentally Speaking with Dr. Kvitko. Participation in the contest allows Dr. Kvitko to record and broadcast your name and call. One winner per household, prizes are non-transferable, cannot be substituted, and are subject to taxes and fees. This station cannot be responsible for the inability to enter the contest, whether due to equipment malfunction or telephone difficulties. All decisions of Dr. Kvitko concerning this contest or eligibility are final.
Come on and smile, it's a fact. When you do, you always get one back. It's the little things that make this life worthwhile. Come on and smile.
And now it's time for Dr. Kvitko's question of the day.
All right, and the question of the day is, children under 3 years old should only use a grain of rice-sized amount of fluoride toothpaste, and children ages 3 to 6 should only use a pea-sized amount. Is that true or false? All right, the winner receives free flowers from Vice Timber Florist. They'll be delivered to your place of business this Tuesday afternoon. The number to call, 459-9769. That's 459-9769. So go ahead and call now.
Stay tuned to Dentally Speaking with Dr. Kvitko.
At Dr. Kvitko & Associates, a lot of people ask us if we're accepting new patients. They know we've been in business for 34 years and assume we're not. Well, guess what? They're wrong. We do accept new patients. After all, if we're doing our job correctly, we get our patients healthy, so all they need are routine exams, cleanings, and the occasional filling or two. That leaves us free to take care of you. So yes, we do take new patients, and we would love to take care of you, your family, and your friends. Give us a call at 614-262-9588 or go to drkvitko.com.
Dentally Speaking is his talk show. Dr. Kvitko. Let's go!
I bet everyone knows someone who is afraid of the dentist. In fact, 40% of Americans don't go to the dentist on a regular basis. The number one reason? Fear. Well, take heart. Here at Dr. Kvitko & Associates, we've been doing intravenous sedation since 1985, and we offer several sedation options, so we're certain we can help you. Want to be sedated for a filling? We do that. Want to be sedated for a cleaning? We do that. How about a root canal or a crown? We can sedate you for those too. Give us a call at 614-262-9588 or go to drkvitko.com.
Estás escuchando Dentally Speaking con Dr. Kvitko aquí en su estación favorita.
Push, push, and push. But you should never swallow it. Push, push, and push. You got to spit it out. Go on and spit. We'll wait for it. Brush your teeth. Keep them looking clean and bright.
All right, we're back. We're doing Dr. Kvitko's question of the day. The question was, children under 3 years old should only use a grain of rice-sized amount of fluoride toothpaste, and children ages 3 to 6 should only use a pea-sized amount. Is that true or false? And we have Jennifer, Stacy, Emily, and Kelly on the lines, and we are going with Stacy right now. So, hey, Stacy, is there a line 2? Are you there, Stacy?
Yes, I am.
And do you have an answer?
The answer is true.
That's correct. Did you know that, by the way?
I did. I was in dental administration learning classes when I was in high school, and they actually taught us that then.
Well, that's neat. That's neat. And what do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm in daycare.
Oh, okay. So you're still with these children. You see their teeth every day.
Yes.
That's cool.
Right.
All right. Well, hey, Stacy, stay on the line. We're going to get those flowers from Vice Denver. They'll be delivered on Tuesday. And Jennifer and Emily and Kelly, thank you so much for calling. And, hey, call again next week, okay? All right, guys. All right. So now let's move on. If you're just joining us, I'm Dr. Kvitko. This is Dentally Speaking, and today we are giving you tips on how to keep your babies and children's teeth healthy. We've already covered the 6 steps to keeping your child's teeth clean. Now we're going to find out why baby teeth are important, and besides brushing and flossing, the 5 ways you can protect your child's teeth. Okay? So let's get on with that. Now, the 5 ways that you can protect their teeth, we talked about one already accidentally. It was fluoride. Okay, so making sure your child has fluoride in their diet. They have to drink it, because when they drink it, it gets into the matrix of the developing adult teeth, okay? It's also helpful if you get the fluoride treatments when you come to the office, but that's actually treating the teeth that are in the mouth, not the ones that have yet to erupt. The other is that regular dental visits are a way to protect your child's teeth, because when we do the cleanings and the fluoride treatments, we can provide them kind of with smile insurance, so plan your child's first dental visit within 6 months after the first tooth appears, but no later than the first birthday. Consider it a well baby checkup for your child's teeth. And that's an important kind of distinction, because parents always go and have no problem taking their child to the physician for that well baby checkup. But when it comes to their teeth, they're going, oh, I don't think he's going to sit still, or she's going to sit still, and I don't see any cavities. I think's fine. Everything's fine. So we won't go. We're going to wait till they have a toothache, and you definitely don't want to do that, or a visible cavity, all right? Another would be preventing dental injuries, sports-related usually. And you might remember we did a couple of shows the last 2 to 3 weeks. One was talking with the team dentist for the OSU sports teams about mouth guards that they make. And we did hockey injuries that happen when the hockey players don't wear mouth guards because they don't think it's cool. So what you want to do for your children is prevent those kind of injuries by making sure your child wears a mouth guard. I recommend that it's custom made. Don't get the boil and bite. They just don't fit, and they fall out when their child gets popped in the chin or popped in the mouth. And if it stays in, it'll work. If it's on the ground, it didn't work. And also, it's really tough, especially when you have braces, to do the boil and bite, to do it yourself, And we can make that impression. It's really tricky. It's not even easy for us, but we can do it, and that way you can protect not only the child's teeth, but the inside of their cheeks and inside of their lips, which can get lacerated if they get popped in the face while they're wearing braces on their teeth. Okay? So just kind of remember that. It's very, very important if you want them to grow up and have a nice smile. Okay. So we want to also talk about the, I guess people don't understand just how these cavities can grow and how pervasive they can be, And so, as I mentioned, we are streaming live video, and maybe you would want to watch the podcast at some point. So I'm going to hold up a picture, do my best to the camera, of what teeth look like. There are 4 panels. It's healthy baby teeth, moderate to severe decay, moderate to severe, and then severe. And I don't know how well this is going to show up, and I'm for the people that are just listening, again, you can access this by going to Dentally Speaking, and there we will have the YouTube link. And it's the Ustream with a U. So I'm just holding it up there a little bit just to kind of give you a sense of the kind of decay that kids get. It's significant. It's terrible. I mean, these teeth rot off to just the gum line, and people mistakenly think that it's okay to let the baby teeth rot because they're going to get their adult teeth anyway. And it's just not true. So please, please, please do not do that. Okay? Before we go to our next break, and I think we're coming up to that real soon, here's some tips to help protect your child's teeth. All right? Don't let your baby or toddler fall asleep with a bottle of sugary liquids. Okay, that means milk too, and it includes breast milk. That's not good. You don't want them to fall asleep with that last little gulp in their mouth, because then it's going to just bathe the teeth. And keep in mind that milk, including breast milk, has milk sugar in it, okay? Lactose. All right. If your baby needs comfort between regular feedings or at bedtime, give them a clean pacifier. Never dip a pacifier in sugar or honey. Now, honestly, I didn't even know people would consider doing that, but I just keep learning things every day. And you just, because I've been in dentistry for 34 years, I know not to do that, and I forget that some people don't. And do not allow your children to frequently sip sugary liquids from bottles or training cups, since this can also lead to decay. Even watered-down sugary drinks, including juice, can damage teeth. So anything that they're sipping all day is going to mean that it's going to be in contact with their teeth way too long for the day, and they will get this kind of decay. And when the parents bring their child in and we find all this decay, it's actually very embarrassing. I know I had this one mom almost in tears because she couldn't believe that it happened to her child. And so, yes, it can happen to your children as well. Even if you think you're doing the right thing and you're a great mom or a great dad, you just have to pay attention to these sort of things. Otherwise, your child will be a victim of this. Okay? So, I think let's go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about, how we want to make sure that you can give your child like the best chance in life by making sure that they enter the world with a bright, shiny, happy, white, perfectly straight smile. All right? You're listening to Dentally Speaking, and we'll be right back.
This is Clark Kellogg. Stay tuned for more of Dentally Speaking with Dr. Kvitko.
Here at Dr. Kvitko & Associates, we are intensely dedicated to providing the absolute best dental care. The word mediocre isn't in our vocabulary. We just won't take shortcuts. Isn't that what you want in the person you trust with sharp objects in your mouth? Of course it is. However, people tend to assume high quality means expensive. But guess what? We're more affordable than you think. Our fees are about the same as one of those chains. But with us, you get our 34 years of experience and our unwavering commitment to quality. Discover for yourself. Call us at 614-262-9588.
Hi, I'm Dominique Reichert. Like what you hear? Why not use the Dentally Speaking show to promote your product or service by becoming a sponsor? Call 614-262-9588 to learn how. That's 614-262-9588. Call now or send an email to drkvitko@aol.com.
Brighten your life with a smile that shows the professional touch of Dr. Kvitko.
Are your teeth crooked? And while you would like them straight, there's no way you would wear braces for 2 years. What if I told you that you can straighten your teeth in 6 months between now and your next cleaning? Would you be interested? Call us today at 614-262-9588.
State ascoltando Dentally Speaking con il dottor Kvitko, qui sulla vostra radio preferita.
I'm Grandpa, and I go to Dr. Kvitko, and I still have all my teeth. Real ones. Where's my glasses?
Brush your teeth. Keep them looking clean and bright. Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Brush, 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 brush. Now your toothpaste.
All right, we're back, and we are talking about keeping your child's and your infant's teeth healthy. Now, keep in mind that children learn healthy habits from their parents and caregivers. And I use this analogy a lot. Think of a little boy who likes to pretend that he's shaving. He's standing next to his dad, and his dad is shaving, and so the little boy puts shaving cream on his face, or the dad might, and he has a little toy razor or a regular one without the blade, and so he's pretending that he's doing what dad is doing. So if your child sees you brushing and sees you flossing, they are more likely to do it as well or want to do it as well. The old "do what I say, not what I do" really doesn't work. So just to help them develop healthy habits by having great habits of your own, okay? So you want to clean their teeth at home. If it's a baby, you want to wipe the baby's gums with a clean wet gauze pad or washcloth after each feeding and before they go to sleep. This removes bits of food that can harm the teeth that are starting to come in. It also helps the child get used to having his mouth cleaned or her mouth cleaned. As soon as the first tooth appears, start brushing your baby's teeth twice a day, morning and night. Use a soft, bristled, child-sized toothbrush and a fluoride toothpaste. Until the child is 3, of course, and we mentioned this earlier, they should use no more than a smear or grain of rice-sized amount of fluoride toothpaste, because we don't want them to swallow it, and sometimes they do. And for children 3 to 6, use no more than a pea-sized amount. Okay, now for infants, we talked about infants should finish their bedtime or nap time bottle before going to bed. After your child's first tooth comes in, they should not be allowed to breastfeed constantly or fall asleep while breastfeeding. Infants should not be put to bed or allowed to fall asleep with a bottle that contains milk, formula, fruit juices, or any liquids with sugar. Even the watered down kind can damage teeth. If your child uses a pacifier, well, we talked about, I didn't even know people dipped it in sugar or honey. And I just didn't even realize that. So, it's okay, but don't dip it in stuff and make sure it's clean. All right. So I'm getting the, we're almost out of time signal. Let me just see if anything that I didn't get to, anything that I think would be important. Hopefully you're getting the idea. Baby teeth are important. They hold space for the remaining teeth. They make sure that the remaining teeth, that the adult teeth can come in properly. If the child's baby teeth are bad, if they are decayed, rotten, there's more likely their adult teeth will be. If the baby teeth are crooked, there's more chance that the adult teeth will be crooked. And by the way, orthodontics or having teeth straightened, it's not just for them to be attractive, to have a great smile. It's actually to make it easier to clean, less likely to get decay, and easier for us to take care of them for them. Okay? So, like I said, it looks like we are out of time. So, hey, you know what? Coming up on the show in a couple weeks, we're going to have Dr. Paul Casamasimo. He is the Director of Children's Dentistry at OSU College of Dentistry and Nationwide Children's Hospital. That's going to be fun. He'll be live in the studio. And then we're also going to have a gentleman from who travels around in an RV, and we're going to talk about his how do you access dental and medical care when you are always on the road. All right, so I think, let me just make sure, haven't forgotten anything. Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you could do so at Dr. Kvitko. That is, we're just about out of time. Remember, the office Facebook page is Facebook/Dr. Kvitko and Associates, okay? Be sure to join me next Sunday, every Sunday morning, right here on your favorite station. And have a great week. Goodbye.
All you need is smile. Lots and lots of smiley smiles. Your sweet pink mouth goes north, not south, and just smile.
This is Carly Red from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the hit show on VH1, urging you to tune in next week for another exciting episode of Dentally Speaking with my dentist, Dr. Kvitko.
If you're interested in learning more about this and other dental health topics, go to dentallyspeaking.com to access full episodes of Dr. Kvitko's show.
If you would like to book Dr. Kvitko to speak at your next event, please call 614-262-9588. That's 614-262-9588. Or send an email to Dr. Kvitko at dentallyspeaking.com. That's DRKVITKO at dentallyspeaking.com.
WSNY and WSNY HD Columbus.
The opinions expressed in this program are solely those